Hello, everyone. Welcome to CuePoints, the Mobile DJ Podcast. My name is Anthony. Alongside me is co-host Will.
Hey, what's going on?
We have a very special guest today.
We do, my friend. This is someone that I've come to know over the past, I would say, what do you think, like a year?
Probably about a year
already. It's going pretty fast. It's April 10th. We're here live at LIU Studios. It's another gorgeous Wednesday. And even if it's raining out, it's still a gorgeous Wednesday because we are here, my friend.
That's right.
At the Mobile DJ Podcast. You can find us where, Anthony?
CuePointsPodcast.com, Instagram, and Facebook at CuePoints Podcast.
Awesome. So we're here today with Brandon from Red Max Entertainment. What's up, man?
How are you?
Dude, I'm happy you're here.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah.
Dude, you excite me. Like, I and I know that sounds so weird, but you do because, there's a lot of, I don't know, you're cool with how old you are, right? Like, it doesn't bother you?
Yeah.
Dude, you're 19. Like, that's awesome.
I have a few more years till it bothers me.
Dude, now you'll get it. When you turn 24, 25, you'll understand where I'm at. So, dude, Brandon, for a lot of people in this area that are in the production and DJ world, they'll definitely know him. If you're in, shout out iDJ Now. If you're in there, you might see one of his videos on the TVs. Brandon is all about the production world and everything, and he's only 19. I mean, it's awesome because there's not a lot of people, I would say, under 25 counts, so I'm good still. Just for another year, I'm okay. That are just doing everything, man, and just killing it. So, well, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, so tell us, a little bit about Red Max and a little bit about, how you got started.
Sure. So I started DJing in 2013. So I've been in the industry for a while. I like to say I've started professionally in about 2016. Mm-hmm. So for a while, from 2013 to 2016, it was just family events. It was, backyard birthday parties, basic stuff. In 2013, I bought my first mixer. It was like $80 off Amazon. Yep. It was like the iDJU mix, something like that. And it was like $80. And that was cool. That got me started. And I was really just pressing play and pressing pause and, moving the volume faders up and down. But 2016 was when I started really getting into DJing, doing more outside events, friends of family, friends of friends, some school events, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then my passion kind of grew through the production side of it. So I started working at a few local production companies. Viper Studios is one, and kind of getting my hands into the production end of things, both audio, lighting, sound, and I kind of really took a liking for that side of the industry. So I started to branch out and freelance for a lot of companies doing, lighting, audio, sound, just roadieing, teching, everything like that. And that's kind of how my passion grew for the entertainment and event production industry. So I started my company in 2016. Before that, I was just, my DJ name. Mm-hmm. And I started my company, and I'll give a little background on Red Max because everyone asks, where that came from and what it is. And the simple answer is it's just a brand. I wanted to create a brand. It started with the RE. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of grew to incorporate that into the Red Max Entertainment logo. So it's the same RE, just expanded into the name. And then more recently, this year, we actually incorporated it as an LLC from a DBA. So we turned it into Red Max Events since we're leaning more towards the event production side of things. So we're not locked into entertainment and DJing. And we'll still offer that stuff, but it's, my theory behind it was if our name has entertainment in it, and people see that, they're going to see Red Max Entertainment. They're going to be like, okay, he does DJs and photo booths. Let's call him for that. And then maybe he does some other stuff too. So with Red Max Events, it's more of like, okay, maybe he's an event planner. He's he's in the event industry. So let's reach out to him and see what he does. So that's kind of the theory behind that. But then from there, my company's just kind of grown. I've been, putting, just like most business owners, probably most of your money back into the business, to get different equipment. I've bought the LED stages, I've bought, some furniture, some cocktail tables, stuff like that, and just kind of built up that industry so that I can, rent out and do the event production side of things. And then I've always just kind of wanted to gear my equipment that route too. By no means do I have the production equipment to do a big, festival kind of thing with, there's just a different level of equipment with Tomcat trussing and stuff like that. But as far as the DJ industry is concerned, I'm trying to be more in the production end of it. So I've kind of geared my equipment towards, hybrid moving heads and just building up the inventory that sense. So.
I mean, just to not to cut you off, but I mean, he's throwing years out here, and he's talking about started his company in 2016. He's only 16 at that point, dude. Like, that's crazy.
That's amazing, yeah.
Like, I give my brother is 19, literally same age as you.
Right.
He ain't got nothing crap together like that, dude. Like that is what I'm talking about, man. Like,
throwing
that
your
is
brother under the bus like that.
Hell yeah, dude. I'll throw him under every bus, man. Dude, that is awesome.
No, he's definitely very professional. I've seen a lot from you, especially on social media. You're huge on social media.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, yeah.
YouTube and everything. You want to...
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe
So
talk a little bit about that.
My YouTube channel, I don't even know what year it started. Probably about 2 years ago now. But it actually started with ADJ's MyDMX, and they came out. That was the software I was using at the time, and they came out with MyDMX 3. And I was having issues with the previous MyDMX, so I was back and forth with support, and to solve the issue, they decided to replace my DMX unit with the MyDMX 3, which at that time I knew nothing about. So I was like, okay, it's just a newer model or something. They sent it to me, and it turns out I actually got it about 3 days before it was released to the public. So I got the new piece of equipment. I had no clue how to work it. The software was totally different. So I did what probably most people do who are watching this. They went to YouTube and searched it, or searched tutorial, searched something like that, and nothing came up. So I was like, what's the deal with this? So I went on their website, and it said coming soon. I was like, okay. So then I was like, all right, I'm off from school the next few days. Let's dive into it and teach myself. So I taught myself the whole software, and I was like, this was probably now a day before it was released. I was like, let me make a video of what I've learned about the software. So I started that tutorial video and posted it to YouTube. It's up to like 55,000 views or something like that. And, I don't contribute that to my subscribers or anything. That was just purely because that was the only video that came up when people first got the product, which is pretty cool.
That's really awesome.
But that launched my channel. I created a second one. That one's like close. I think it's like 40-something thousand views. And then from there, a lot of people were commenting and appreciated the tutorials and stuff like that. So I started doing, product reviews and stuff like that. I've done some lights for ADJ. I've done some bags for Reba cases, stuff like that. And then, like you mentioned, IDJ Now, I did a few videos for them on different
I think that was when I first saw you. I saw you come up on the screen. I was like, isn't that Brandon?
I get texts all the time, people screenshotting behind the counter, and Juan's in the corner, ringing them up, and then my face is on the TV screen. But
no, but dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You have such a rounded, already knowledge of so many different things. It's
for sure.
It's really incredible, man. So it's just,
and you do the gig logs too.
Yeah. So
that's huge.
Gig logs, for me, haven't always been my focus. I wanted to make it more of a tutorial-based channel, something that I could do if I'm free or available one day, just take out a piece of gear, create a tutorial, and help people in that way. But I've noticed, through your videos, through DJ Bar, people like that gig logs are very popular in, the industry. People love watching them and seeing that kind of thing. But for me, time-wise, when I'm on a gig, I usually don't have a lot of time to worry about that. So I try and film a few here and there to give people a taste of what we're doing. Right. And then I've actually gotten a few clients, actually several clients from YouTube videos, which is pretty crazy too. I was
awesome.
never expecting that. I knew you could get paid through YouTube, through the advertisements and stuff, but I haven't even reached my first paycheck from that. I think the threshold's $100 or something like that. But so getting jobs through that is pretty crazy. But I did the lighting install at St. Bart's. I did all the programming for that. I did programming at Daryl's House Club upstate, and those were actually based off the MyDMX tutorial series. The people went to watch it. They were watching the videos because they installed it, and then they were like, we were watching your videos. We realized you're from New York. Can you just come do it for us? And I was like,
awesome.
Sure. So, that's where the YouTube thing kind of took off. And then I was like, all right, let me keep putting content out. Maybe some more jobs will come out of it, kind of thing.
That is awesome. So all these different directions that you're going through. Well, what would you say if you broke it down percentage-wise? DJ, lighting, all these different things. How do you break it down, really, if you had to?
So DJ-wise is probably about 30 to 40% of our work now.
Okay.
But we have a few weddings. We're actually going to Massachusetts in September for a wedding, Connecticut in July for a wedding. So we travel around and do a few of those. But weddings, mitzvahs, I have some in May that are booked with DJs and stuff like that. But I try and sell them on more than just that.
Sure,
I do probably less than 6 jobs a year that are just like a DJ.
Just
I did
a
a
DJ.
bowling fundraiser last night. That's like one I do every year kind of thing. But I do probably about 6 of those where it's just a DJ. I'm trying to get all those clients on board with the production aspect and show them how the production can really enhance their event and what it can add to it.
I can definitely attest to that, because the best thing you can do is if you have reoccurring, and residual accounts every year, if I don't add something new that's going to enhance their experience and their client's experience, then I'm failing. Because, every year, if they're paying X, next year they should have X and Y.
Right.
They should always be
100%.
adding on. So, and you offer so many unique things, because a lot of the things that you're putting out, and what's your social media, just so they can find you?
So the company's social media is at @RebMax_events, and then my social media is at Brandon Havrilla.
Okay.
So you can follow both of them.
You guys are posting so many things, and I look at them, I'm like, damn, that was such a cool way you could take, because you take these, stage squares and these whatnot, and you just make new things. I'm like, never thought I had to do that. And
I wanted to touch on that with you. You're so innovative with the setup design and lighting design. You just know so much about this production. It's amazing.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to think outside the box, keep coming up with unique things. I had the idea, I was at a buddy's warehouse, he had the circle truss, and I was like, wow, that'd be cool. I was like, Valentine's Day, we can do, a heart out of that.
I saw that. That was cool.
And I was going back and forth with somebody else, and I was like, hey, I think it would be really cool to do a heart out of these shapes. And they're like, no, when you attach those, it's going to be a McDonald's logo. And I was like, all right, let me just do it and show you, So, I kind of drew it out, but same thing like you were saying with the dance stages and stuff. I have a few things in my inventory that I would consider unique that other people don't have. But a lot of my stuff I just treat as tools in a toolbox.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
There's probably everyone's buying stages now. I see it in the group every day. Someone's posting and saying, where can I buy stages? How can I buy stages? Stuff like that. So who do you guys use for that? People are always texting me, where'd you buy those?
I've texted you before, and I said, hey man, I was like, I need something specific made. Where do you get it?
Exactly. And I get people from all over the U.S. too, and I'm like, you could buy them from the guys I use here, but shipping's gonna cost you. But I treat it as tools in a toolbox. I don't care if every company on Long Island has the stages.
It doesn't matter.
I can still come up with unique designs, use them in different ways to do front boards.
That's
stuff
the
like
biggest
that.
thing, is because all these DJ companies, everyone out there. Most of us have a lot of the similar stuff. We all have TVs. We all have trussing. Just what makes it different. And I feel like you really do, hit that note where it's like, I can make something different, and it's not the same thing. And I feel like you do also have very the clients that I see you post for, they really love the work you do. I've seen it that you really go above and beyond to make sure that all these little details are all noted.
Right. Yeah, we try and go above and beyond for every client. That's for sure. But we try and throw in something unique and different back to the repeat clients we were talking about. I do a color run every year, and they just came back to me a few weeks ago. I was doing a different event for the same organization, and they were like, here's the date for the color run, book it, we want the same thing as last year. And I was like, you don't want to try something different?
Right.
And they're like, what can we do different? So I was like, all right,
Here's
come over,
my box of goodies.
let's talk, let's do some things. So I spit a whole bunch of ideas out, and they're like, all right, we love it. Relay for Life I do every year.
Yep.
I spit a whole bunch of new ideas out. We've actually got something big in the works that I was kind of iffy about. I didn't think they'd pay for it because they are, a fundraiser and stuff like that. But I guess I kind of portrayed it in the right way to show them what value it would bring to their event, and stuff like that. And they were like, we'll take it all. We'll figure out how to pay for it later.
That's my favorite thing to say.
Yeah.
You want to talk dirty to me? That's what it's like.
Yeah.
So.
I have actually an interesting question. Is anyone in your family an entrepreneur?
They are not. No one is.
So what made you want to go into business for yourself? Because it's not an easy thing.
It's not. You have to have a passion for what you do. My dad's an architect. He's always worked for other people. He did do some freelance stuff in the beginning, designing some stuff, but he works for other people. My sister's a doctor in North Carolina, and my other sister is a teacher. So they all kind of work for other people. It's a totally different lifestyle, so a lot of them don't get it, but it's time
not
consuming.
Something everyone understands.
Right.
It's not.
And it's hard. I see both sides of it. A lot of people would rather just go to a 9 to 5 during the week.
Sure.
5 o'clock comes around, you get in your car, you go home, and you're done. That's it.
It's the two different mindsets.
Right. For
you know,
me,
you're on one side of the quadrant or you're on the other.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. You know, I'm still in school till May. I'll be done. So after that, I want to just put more time into the business. But, you know, for me, I have school till, say, whatever, 3 o'clock some days, and then I get home, my workday is just starting.
Right.
You know, or even if I, you know, go into somebody else's warehouse to help out for the day, 9 to 5, I'm done at 5, my workday is just starting, you know? So for me, I put in a lot of extra time. My saying has always been, you know, a lot of people say you get in what you put out. My saying has always been, if you put in the weekdays, you'll get out the weekdays. And these past few weeks, I mean, I've had events Tuesdays, Mondays, Thursdays, you know, Wednesdays, Fridays, every day of the week. I've been, you know, out working events, stuff like that. And it comes down to just putting in the weekdays in the winter when it was a little slow. I put in a lot of extra time during the week on social media, everything like that, like we were talking about, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And that's where the clients that host those weekday events are. And that's where they're looking, you know. So I put in the week, I get the week out, and then the weekend just kind of comes just based on, you know, referrals and parties and stuff like that.
And I could really touch on the fact that, you know, being in college and running your own business, it's not easy. It's really not, because, you know, you're in the middle of, you know, English lit, and you're worried about, you know, oh crap, I missed a phone call.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times my teachers must have thought I had like a UTI or something like that. I am running to the bathroom almost every class to take a phone call from a client.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
It's funny. I was just saying the same thing to my mom the other day, too. I was like, my teachers probably think I have problems.
Yeah,
like,
because you're always leaving, you know, to take care of it.
But if you could balance it...
100%, yeah.
That's solid.
And Anthony, you do the same thing, man. You balance a lot of different things, man. You do.
I think sometimes it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
You know, I try to get involved with so many different things, and you know, it's hard to balance it sometimes, but if you can and you make the most of it, it's very rewarding in the business aspect.
The fact that we both got here and we're able to be here weekly is pretty amazing, to be honest. Because when
I know you're
when Anthony
way more
first
busy
came to
than
me
me,
with
but
this idea, I was like, dude, what time do you think I have to do this?
Yeah.
But if you want to make the time, you know, you just do it. And you know, I think it's so important to get, you know, the DJ community talking, and you know, because there's so many similar experiences. I started my company when I was in college. You know, he started his in high school. I mean, it's just
me too.
It's just awesome, man. I mean, it's just exactly. There's just so many similar stories and so many things to feed off of each other and different ideas and whatnot. And the funny thing is we're all in business for ourselves, but we can all help each other. Like, that's 100%. The biggest thing. Like, I know there are so many events that I could have coming up, and there's certain things that I don't do that I don't even. I just called Brandon the other day. I just met with a client that's doing a really big festival, and all of a sudden, halfway through my lunch, I find out they were just speaking with Brandon about doing some other things. So the minute I got out of the meeting, I called him. I said, "Hey, call me. I want to talk to you about." And I tried selling his stuff for him, like, because they were like, "Yeah, we're thinking about it," and I was like, "No, let's do it," because I know that with him on board, I can kind of move my stuff and maneuver even more stuff.
Right.
So, dude, it's all teamwork, man. It is, especially on the production side.
I was just gonna piggyback off that and say, you know, with the entertainment side, it's still there. There's going to be those companies that just do the weekend and they need dance stages. They're not going to go out and buy them because that comes with storage, it comes with insurance, comes with everything like that. So there's going to be some teamwork there. But with the DJ side of things, you know, when a bride and groom book an entertainment company, they're usually booking the entertainment company to handle the DJ, music, everything like that, and then they're booking the entertainment company to do the photo booth, and you know, anything else that comes with that. So they're booking one company. That's it. They want to sign one contract. That's it.
One and done.
With the production side of things, it's the complete opposite.
100% agree.
A lot of the big events, you know, even the events we were just talking about, the other big companies on Long Island that are doing the production stuff, mitzvahs and stuff like that. I mean, it's the same 10 companies on every job. You know, but there's 10 of them. And they all kind of offer the same thing too, but they're each doing different aspects.
They're all known for their one niche. Like
100%.
that's what they're really good at that. 100%. But I like to use this company for that. And I have no problem with that. Listen, if I'm getting a piece of the pie, that's all I can ask for.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, if they're happy with what we're doing and they want to give a try for something new, awesome. But I'm not going to complain.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have so many events that I do, and I know every year they're going to use this company for one thing. What am I going to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? They like who they're using. I'm going to upset them. You know, I try to say, hey, this is what we can also do. And if they want to take it, they take it. But the worst thing you can do is be a car salesman and be pushy, especially when you come to production events. You know what I mean? And in that, it's just 100%.
I mean, you need to be a little pushy, But if you're just the right amount of pushy, I think there's a lot of success to be had.
Yeah, I feel like if you know, especially in this type of industry,
because you have to offer different things, you know.
Yeah, no. You can offer it without being pushy.
Right. You want to put the ideas on the table. Say, hey, you know, consider this. Think about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Is that like you can put out there what you do without being pushy.
Yeah,
right.
That's kind of where I was going with that.
No, you know, but you're right. I mean,
but you want to offer everything so that you could sell as much as you can, right?
Yeah. The corporate ends hard. You know, even corporate conferences and stuff, they'll come to you and say, hey, I need 2 TVs with a live feed and 2 speakers with 1 wireless mic for a speaker. And, you know, it's very cut and dry. They know what they need. They've been doing it for years kind of thing.
Give me an invoice. Let me know how much.
Exactly. And that's it. It's so that, you know, you just want to write up the paperwork, send it to them, book it, be done, you know. But there's certain things that you can, like the color run I was saying, you could throw extra ideas on the table and be like, hey, you want to make it a little bigger this year, make it a little better. You
exactly.
know,
or
things,
maybe it's cut and dry that first year, but the next year, like, hey, listen, so I was there last year, and, you know, you guys did a great job. However, I think we could do this a little bit better by adding X, you know, and once you have, and it's all about the relationships with your clients.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, and especially in the production side rather than, I mean, the DJ side, yes, but I feel like more the production side, that's where you get the residual accounts. 100%. You know, those are where it's every year, you know what dates it's going to be. They're calling you in January when it's in August to let you know, hey, lock the dates in, we're doing it again.
Yeah, because when they know that you add value to their event, they're going to want you every single time.
Right.
Because they know you actually care about the event.
Exactly.
And that's important.
You know, yeah, and back to the Relay for Life event I do every year. That was a big thing. They had somebody that was donating sound. They were doing bands for a while, and then they would just play an iPod in between, you know, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But that particular school hosts a really big Relay for Life. Mm-hmm. They get a lot of people.
Huge.
And I think they can get even a lot more people if the value is there for the guests attending it kind of thing. So one of my pitches to them, you know, was to just offer something unique and different that would attract more people and then interact with more people online too. So it kind of ties back to social media and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So Anthony, one more time, where can they find us everywhere?
CuePointsPodcast.com. We got all our links on there. Instagram and Facebook at CuePoints Podcast. YouTube, Anthony Garcia DJ Vlogs.
And what day are we on?
Wednesdays, every week.
Every week. Every single week. They're going to get tired of me pretty soon. CuePoints Podcast every single Wednesday. Catch us at cuepointspodcast.com. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Check us out. We'll be back right after this. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Will from the CuePoints Mobile DJ Podcast, and we would love to get your opinion and your take on the DJ world in today's day and age and how much it's changed and everything going on and having to do with the mobile DJ universe. Give us an email at cuepointspodcast@gmail.com and let's get you involved in the conversation. Again, that's cuepointspodcast@gmail.com. We'll speak to you soon. If you're enjoying the CuePoints Mobile DJ Podcast, then you gotta give us a follow. Find us on Instagram and Facebook at CuePoints Podcast for giveaways, product reviews, and so much more. That's CuePoints Podcast on all social media platforms. Check us out.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to CuePoints, the Mobile DJ Podcast. We are sitting here with Mr. Brandon Havrilla.
Yes.
I like that last name, man. It's kind of cool. Havrilla.
Thank you for sitting down with us. We appreciate it.
Spanish and Havrilla.
Yeah, man.
I get a little bit of everything right.
It does sound
I always
Spanish.
get the how do you pronounce your last name?
What are you actually, though?
So,
I'm curious. What are your
names? A little bit of German, Italian.
Nice.
And,
all right. Little nice little mixture. All right, that's cool. So we talked about a lot of stuff in the last segment, from, you know, all the different things you do and you know, just the industry between production and DJing. So you're only 19, which I give you a lot of credit for. How do you deal with do you find that there's a stigma about the young entrepreneur, especially when it comes to weddings, corporate events, you know, coming in at under 20?
It's difficult, but there definitely is a stigma. My least favorite word right now is millennial. It's all over Facebook, and it's usually linked with something negative.
Yeah, it's always something bad when you see millennial.
Yeah, even in some of the Facebook groups we're in and stuff, there's that term gets tossed around and associated with different things, uneducated stuff like that, and
I'm sure it angers you. I'm sure it's annoying.
Yeah, my least favorite thing, but it at the same time, it's almost like a drive and a push to prove them wrong. So
I know I agree with you, but at the same point, if you play devil's advocate, if you're in those groups and everything like that, do you see why? Like, do you see? Because I've personally seen people post that do fit that stigma. Like I always say, 100%. Like there's reasons that these that come that the stereotypes come out. It's because to some degree they might be true. However, you're like you stick out. Because you're not, and I was very similar in that sense, I got a beard, so that helps. But when I was younger, it was very difficult. You'd meet with a bride and groom as your own company, and because I've been in business since 14, so I started mine when I was 20. Before that, I had other companies that I worked for and ran. Mm-hmm. But with me, it was I had to extra sell. Because I was only 20, they didn't really take me as seriously. So I feel like you really outshine a lot of people your age, and you kind of like beat back that millennial thing. At the same point, I say that stuff all the time, like stupid millennials, because I see so many kids that fit the damn stereotype. But you come so far out of the stereotype, and I feel like, to be honest, if you could pick whether there was a stereotype or wasn't, it's almost better that there is, because you stand out better. And I've always said, for me, it's like, I'm glad there's a stereotype, about, under 30 people, because I'm for what I'm doing, I'm killing it. And I stand out for that reason.
Right. No, I agree. And back to the thing you were saying before, that do I see where they're getting at with having that stereotype? 100%. I mean, it's like, the railroad tracks, watch the gap. Like, that sign's only there because someone didn't watch the gap,
I like that.
The watch your step signs, like, they're only there because someone didn't watch their
coffee.
step, Exactly.
Yeah,
so
oh my gosh.
It makes sense that they're there. I get it. And that's why I just kind of push more to prove them wrong. But for a while, when I first started the company, it was hard to sell, even birthday parties, stuff like that. And that's where the whole, you got to start somewhere, you got to charge low, whatever it is. Like, someone has to do those events, though. There's got to be someone. I'm at the point now where I can't take a $350 DJ birthday party. I turn that down in a heartbeat. I got to get $800 for a one-man DJ. Otherwise, there's not enough money for insurance, for everything. But that stuff came with building up the business and learning the industry and stuff like that. But with that said, along the way, when I started, I couldn't sell weddings. Now I'm starting to sell more and more weddings, but again, that's not what I'm targeting. So if a wedding calls me, yes, I'll book you. I'll sit down with you and talk to you, kind of thing. But I'm not going to push advertising weddings and target weddings and stuff like that. Everything I do is geared towards the corporate and the event production side of things. And you're still going to get weddings because, especially families and friends in a few years, when my friends from high school are getting married and stuff,
you'll have plenty
they're all going to come here because they knew I was a DJ in high school. And I'll still be able to do that stuff and offer those services.
And I can attest to that, because I know people that went to your high school because of my girlfriend's brother and everything, and every single time I've ever brought up your name, they're like, oh yeah, that guy was the DJ. Like, that's how people knew you. Right. But to also say, so I know Anthony, now you're in a lot of these, so there's a lot of groups, especially on Long Island, these Long Island DJ and MC groups. There's
it's
a bunch
a big
of them.
Community.
So and Anthony's actually come to me more than once, and he's like, I don't like what they're saying. And I want you to touch on that too.
We did touch upon this last time, but I'll talk about it a little more. I just didn't like how the more experienced guys would right off the bat just come and bash the younger guys. I do understand where they're coming from, but we all start somewhere.
I feel like it's almost with anything, though. If you're in the gym, you got the big guys in the back putting all the weights, and they're looking at these, guys just starting out that have the 30-pound weights. I feel like it's just almost like human evolution. I feel like the guy, and especially you got to think, if these guys, some of them might be, 40, 50, they might have started in the late 80s, which is really where, mobile DJing started, and it's like, so if they don't keep changing, which the ones that are doing successful things have continued to evolutionize. However, the ones that are still stuck in 1990, they're salty. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're gonna have people that are salty, and they're gonna be like, I've been doing this 30 years. So what?
Well, I know there's a lot of advice and everything that those older guys can give to the younger guys.
Yeah.
But the younger guys are so intimidated because they don't feel welcomed into this DJ community.
Well, you also have to play with,
and that's the problem.
Ego. There's a lot of egos. There's a lot of egos in one group.
That's why I had the problem.
Yeah,
not because they were wrong, not because they were being dicks,
right.
But just because I felt like it was.
So I said ass, and that was like not allowed. But apparently, we're moving on to the D word.
I'll bleep that out.
Well, this is
I'll believe that.
What I can say about it though is because I'm obviously not that old, but there's a lot of frustrating things that sometimes get posted and everything like that. So I feel like all the good that's done in the younger community, it kind of gets outshined by that, which it's awful, but it's true. You know what I mean? There might be, like Brandon's killing it, doing some sick events, everybody's commenting, awesome things, and then someone posts like, just something like so basic, and they're just like, why are you even in this group? And it's unfortunate, you know what I mean? And that's why it's,
That's the only reason why it just made me feel a little uncomfortable, was because I felt like I was being pushed out because I was younger and I didn't offer all these things and maybe I don't belong here, But
I've said this on different shows, and this is the big difference I feel between, Brandon's company, he does photo booths, he does step and repeats, he does DJs and everything, he has TVs.
He worked hard for that.
But he has them.
Yeah.
He's not going out there saying, I'm Red Max Events and we do all these things, and then he's subbing everything out to different people. Listen, if you want to do something like that, that's cool, but don't sell it to other DJs like that, because you're not selling to a client.
And don't sell it when you're 16 or 19 years old.
Right.
Like, I don't care how long
I've seen multiple people, dude, that are 16 years old selling this stuff. Like, bro, you can't even drive.
Yeah.
Like, you have a junior's license. You're supposed to be home before dark. The event doesn't start till 9 p.m. Like, what are you doing, bro?
I know a couple people, like, in person and from YouTube that, like, you'll watch their gig logs and, like, their mom or their dad has to drive them.
That I respect, though.
To the gig.
I've seen that before. I know there's this kid on Craigslist that I've seen multiple times. Kid must be like 13, and he's posting, like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's this one kid, I don't know his name, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but like he's always posting, like, he does these small events and he's not expensive and he just sells his DJ stuff.
Right.
And like he goes to these events and I guess he gets booked, but like that I respect, because he didn't come out the door saying I do, weddings, I do this and that, and I'm 14 or 13, however old he is.
He sells what he sells.
Dude, there are plenty of people that I know that if you said, hey, I'm having a 6-year-old birthday party for my kid, do you know anybody? They can't come to me. I can't give them something, for $350, $400. It doesn't pay between my workers' comp, disability, whatnot, but like you said before, there needs to be someone for that client.
Yeah.
And the fact that the parents are able to drop that kid off and pick him up, dude, that's huge. That kid already is going to be starting a business at 12 and 13. That's awesome.
I think.
But it's because of the fact that he's selling what he is. You have Leading Arts Entertainment. You don't sell all these other things. If they ask you for it, you either come to me and say, Will, can we do this? Or you go to someone else, which is cool. But like, you don't sell yourself as something you're not. And that's where I have a problem.
Well, I feel like out of respect for the client too, you shouldn't do that.
Well,
you shouldn't sell what you don't.
But
have.
now imagine, and this is where I'm playing devil's advocate for it, is in these groups, right? You're not selling to clients. You're talking to the same people that do it.
Right. You're in a group with.
So like, you're literally like, if I do casino nights, I own over 50 tables, and now imagine me in a group with someone who's saying they sell casino nights,
or say I sell
but
them.
they subcontract from me.
Right.
Like, why are you saying that in a DJ group? Go say that on your Facebook. Mm-hmm. Don't say it in a DJ group, and then they're gonna be like, someone's gonna hit you up and be like, oh, can you let me prices? And then you're gonna give them prices that are boosted up from my prices when you're wholesaling. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. And that's where I understand both sides of that argument. Right. So on a brighter note, though, on top of all the production, all the lighting, the DJing and everything, dude, you're also a drummer.
I am a drummer.
The hell,
I've been a drummer.
Where do you get that time from?
A well-known percussionist.
I'm
in the area. I'm
trying to branch out and do percussion more on the weekends, especially as I build up my crew and my team to do my events. If I just got stage rentals or something on a Saturday night, I can go play percussion for another party and have them take care of that, kind of thing.
Has it been hard for you to find people that you can trust, being that, I don't know how old the guys are that work for you, but I'm assuming they're on the younger side, around our age. Is it hard finding the because I know, like, when I was starting, a lot of my friends worked for me, so it's that balance. It's very hard because it's like hey, we're friends, but this is business time.
Right.
And I've had to have that conversation more than once where I'm like, listen, man, you're one of my best friends, but this can't happen. This is my business.
Right.
And as my friend, you should respect that.
Right.
You know, have you had that issue with finding people to work?
100%, yeah. And like you said, a lot of them are around our age or a few years older. And I think that just comes down to the whole age thing, too. I mean, if I tried to start hiring people that were, 40, 50, 60 years old, the respect's not going to be there. They're going to be the owner in that situation, because they're older. So that's hard, but that will kind of come with the company. As the company grows and I get older, I'll be hiring, people that are younger or around my age that are now older kind of thing.
The longer you're around, the more respect you're going to get.
100%.
It's just difficult sometimes because if you want, if a client's asking for something specific, it's hard for you to turn around to a 38-year-old and be like, hey, you got to go do this when you're half their age.
Right.
So you've seen that too. That's definitely an interesting point. But as far as the percussion goes, that's another cool thing, man. Because to be honest, I only know a couple that I really would trust. I mean, I've called you before. You got Justin Scheidling, who's a good friend of mine.
Right.
I know there's Bopa, or I'm probably saying his name wrong.
Bapa, yeah.
Bapa. Bopa. There's a couple guys, but that's even more of a niche. I mean, then you're getting really down into it. I mean, you're really getting down into the nitty-gritty.
I've seen more and more pop up on Instagram too, and it's just like DJing, and I think one day everyone will be a percussionist too. But I've been playing drums since I was 4, and I got my first drum set when I was 4, and I mean I wasn't playing drums at 4, but I was hitting things at 4, and I slowly started to hit them on beat. But I played all throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school. I was in concert bands. I was in marching band in high school. I was on, drumline. I was in jazz band. I did all that. I tried to, I went to a lot of drum clinics. I played, I'm actually, one of my drum teachers is the drummer for 45 RPM.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them. Dude, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
they're a fantastic
They're well
band.
known around here.
I don't know how they fit so many people on stage. There's like 11 people on stage.
No, they're a fantastic band. So I went to a lot of her concerts. I've played her drums at 1 or 2 concerts to songs and stuff like that.
Plays and sings at the same time, right?
Yes,
amazing.
She's very
that's amazing.
talented.
That's some real talent right there.
That's oh my god, dude!
They're a great group.
You're so well rounded for your age, and it's weird for me to say that because I'm only 6 years older, but in this space, there's not a lot of people under 25. There aren't. It's just, and there are. I shouldn't say that. There are a lot of DJs. There aren't a lot of business owners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There aren't. I mean, and the ones that are, like Anthony's killing it. He gets his name out there. He does these events. He does a great job. I met him at one of his own events.
Right.
But it's just, it's hard to find. It really is. A lot of people, like you said in the beginning of the show, a lot of people are 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm just curious where do you see the mobile DJ world going in the next 20 years? Where do you see it?
It's tough. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are saying with technology, Spotify Premium now, there's no commercials.
Right.
A lot of people are saying it's going to go in the direction of no DJs at events. It's just going to be, an app you download that's called My DJ, and you just play the music off that you want. But at the same time, it's tough because DJing is an art and a skill. I mean, to play the right song at the right time. Mixing has gotten easier. There's auto sync. There's all that stuff.
Sure,
Mixing 2 songs is not too difficult now.
Right.
But the art of actually knowing the music you're playing,
knowing your
choosing
crowd,
the right thing,
right.
reading the crowd, all that stuff is an art. There's no doubt about it. So it's hard to kind of see where the DJ industry is going. I don't know.
What about you, Anthony? Where do you think it's going?
I mean, I think you're right. I think with things like Spotify, and they're coming out with these new apps where it's like an auto DJ. Hopefully that doesn't go too far, because I think that takes the value out of an event. And
the other thing interesting is, you have these younger and younger, couples that are getting married, and they almost don't want an MC. They're almost like, do we really need one or anything? And I feel like
they try to cut things out of what makes an event an event.
I do feel like there's a very big stigma sometimes when you say MC, that they got to be this guy hopping up and down, everyone clapping their hands, when really, I sell it, you need someone who's going to be your coordinator for the day. It's going to be work with your maitre d'.
Right.
So I feel like that part really can't go away too much, because you still need a coordinator. Maybe it will be different. I also feel like a lot of the catering halls, I could see them putting their own sound systems in. They already put their own lights in.
Right. Yeah, they're doing lighting, they're doing video.
They're doing
already.
TVs and everything. I mean, they're trying to, listen, they got to make their money. So I can't, you know, it's just like for me with the halls, if you're going to put the stuff in and you're going to sell a package, then you should sell it with a tech. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me you're going to put up lights in a package. And this is where the education of the clients. I can't wait to have Phil from After Hours on because I'm going to need like 18 shows. Shout out Phil because he's going to go on and on about this. But like, don't sell something like, you know, if you're going to do, you're throwing in an uplighting package for free. You're not even going to charge the client. Yeah. But then, you know, it's on rainbow mode and it's flashing and they're trying to do the first dance and you know you got Grandma Perkins in the corner being like, can you shut the lights?
I can't see anything.
And there's someone the only person that knows how to do it is upstairs doing another party.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're going to sell something, first of all, charge for it, and second of all, have a tech. I don't think that's a lot to ask for because if you book it from Brandon, from Anthony, from me, you're going to get a tech or someone who at least knows what they're doing. You know, you're going to put moving heads in the ceiling. Don't just let them go wild the whole night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're trying to do a candlelighting ceremony and the flash is in the girl's face.
I agree. But at the same time, maybe they just leave it how it is because that makes it easier for us to sell on top.
And that's exactly it.
I just did a wedding the other weekend at a venue that installed their own uplights. And
nice catch, by the way. Not saying the venue.
Threw them in for free. And we still booked a full room package of uplighting.
We're doing Sweet 16 this weekend, and the place has their own TVs. We're bringing ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're getting what they're paying for. They're getting a video tech. You know, they're getting, you know, we're able to control everything. And that's just, it's so huge.
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting where, you know, the whole industry itself goes. Everything's getting cheaper. You know, your entry fee is nothing.
Exactly.
Your
next to nothing.
A laptop that you probably have from college or, you know, high school.
Yeah.
Music's almost
free. It gets cheaper and cheaper with all the record pools.
And I mean, if you're really starting, you don't even need a record. You know, I mean, these guys aren't even getting record pools. They're going on YouTube and they're downloading the top 100.
Unfortunately,
you know what I mean? Like
that's illegal, but
you know, it is illegal, and they shouldn't be doing it. And also, the quality is god awful.
Right.
So I mean, you got that.
But the entry level speakers they're getting, you can't tell anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that is exactly.
Before we moved on from you being well rounded, I just wanted to touch upon like you're involved in so many different things in the industry. How do you work your scheduling? Like, do you have a program that you use, a calendar?
Yeah, so I use Google Calendar.
Yeah, shout out Google.
Shout out
That's
to Google.
What we use.
If they made me pay for it, I probably wouldn't. But it's awesome. You know, I mean, I use Google Calendar for everything, and then I use a program called 17 Hats.
You've told me about this, right?
Which is a CRM. It's just, you know, everything business-wise goes through that software, contracts, invoices, everything. Okay. And 17 Hats actually links to Google Calendar, which is pretty sweet.
That's great.
So as soon as I enter in an event there, it gets linked to my Google Calendar. And as soon as I enter something in my Google Calendar, it links to my 17 Hats calendar. So if I'm in 17 Hats and I'm entering the details for an event, a little pop-up comes up and says, you have 3 other events this day.
Right.
And I could check times, make sure they don't overlap, whatever it is, and vice versa.
I like that.
So
See, that's why I wanted to ask, because when you're involved with so many different things, like say you have a gig for percussion and then you're also booked for
you got a color code, you got to do all these different
gig
things.
where you're sending out staging or something.
Right.
You know, you got to make sure you have staff.
That's the other reason
do both.
Google Calendar is super helpful for me. I mean, I have 2 calendars. I have the company one and I have my personal one.
Right.
So my personal one has all my classes for school in it.
Right.
And I use it right now. I use it for obviously meetings and stuff like that. But I use it for reminders too a lot. Just you know, call so and so back, stuff like that. Which I'm trying to find somewhere else. I mean, right now in my office, I use Post-its on my desk. That's the easiest for me. Okay, I'm done with that. I peel it off, throw it out, kind of thing.
Old-fashioned works.
And if there was some way to like just put a Post-it on the home screen of my iPhone, I would.
I might have an option for you. I mean, I mean, Anthony knows I do this all day. I mean, like literally all day long. I'm just telling Siri, remind me in 2 hours to call whatchamacallit. And if you don't actually tell it like that you completed it, it'll keep coming up.
Right.
So that's what I do. But before we wrap up, I have one more question for you. You're 19 now. Where do you see yourself at 25? That's 6 years.
25.
So you're talking it's going to be 2025 because that's kind of it must be easy for you being born in the millennium. You can't ever forget, you know, what year how old you
all
are.
The years kind of
yeah. Where do you see yourself at 25 in 30 seconds?
That's a tough question to answer. I mean, hopefully just continue growing the business, being a larger, you know, multi-op. I mean, the production world, you don't really call it a multi-op, but in the DJ world, you know, a multi-op, having multiple jobs out at a time. I'm trying to gear more towards that corporate stuff. Hopefully just all corporate jobs, being able to fill both my calendar and all my staff's calendar, all year round.
I mean, I don't know about you, man, but I think he's well on his way. He's definitely a great asset, a great guy to talk to and everything like that. I've had nothing but
very knowledgeable,
good things to say about him, and I think he's really on his way. And in 20 years, God bless, if we're still doing this, I really feel like you could be at the top of the game, because there's not a lot of guys, like I've said multiple times.
I expect him to be at the top of the game.
I like that better. But really quick, Ant, tell us where they can find us one more time.
CuePointsPodcast.com, Facebook and Instagram at CuePointsPodcast, and we put the video version of the podcast on YouTube. Anthony Garcia, DJ Vlogs.
Every Wednesday at noon, right?
Every Wednesday.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we are the CuePoints Mobile DJ Podcast every single Wednesday. Find us online, cuepointspodcast.com. We have giveaways coming up. We're going to be going to these events May 1st. Make sure you write down iDJ Now. They're giving away thousands of dollars of QSC equipment. You have to be there. There's going to be plenty of people to meet. It's going to be an awesome time. Thank you again for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, comments, again, cuepointspodcast.com. Write us something. Let us know what you think of the show, and we will see you guys again next week.